Alright, this walkthrough for MechCommander 2 is going to cover mission 6C in the Steiner campaign. This rescue name is Combat Rescue Claymore. Idea here is you're going to be taking out a Liao base, an air base in particular, and rescuing a Atlas that has been stranded behind enemy lines. Or actually meet up with it. I don't know if it's been stranded necessarily. Either way, for this mission, bringing 2 Menshin and single Star Slayer because of its jump jets. As you can see, I have to head north as soon as the game starts, and trying to pull this group of patrolling defenders down by these gas tanks. And as you can see, it consists of some urban mechs, and, or urban mecha fire, and some vehicles. And with those fuel tanks, we took out both mechs. And the final explosion took out the vehicle. So that was an excellent trap. Now we gotta deal with these 2 harassers, which are a piece of cake. Now there's 2 more hetzers. And once these guys are down, we can use our Star Slayer to jump over to this island over here, which you want to do because it has a resource building to capture. And you can take this watery path to get close to the island, although you'll still need a jump jet mech to cover the last gap.
I'm on him.
Enemy resources captured.
Alright, our next target is going to be this base up here, which is going to be our kind of baiting location, because we're going to want to capture those turrets so that we can bring other mechs that we start to engage back to this point in order to have help with defense and such. and able to drop them faster with the turrets. And as you can see, we pulled the defenders out, so what I'm doing here is actually charging into their base with my jump jet mech, while I'm keeping the defenders occupied outside. And since they're actually also targeting him, they start to run back instantly into the base itself. And being fire ants, they're short range, meaning that they have to get in range of the SRM turrets before even being able to touch my Star Slayer. As you can see, those SRM turrets did a number on that fire ant, forcing an eject after 3 salvos. And that's basically a good example of why we want to bring the enemies here. Plus, the turret control tower is well defended, meaning it's not going to be easy for enemy mechs to just come in and blast the tower and disable your turrets. Can drop a repair vehicle inside this base too, so that we can repair our mechs whenever we need to pull them back here. So it's likely that they'll be taking some damage. And since that fire ant was destroyed in pretty good condition with most of its weapons intact, I'm going to salvage that as well. And there's probably better mechs to salvage later, but at this point you might need the firepower, so it might be worth salvaging one this early on. And as you can see, the first airbase, which is basically takes up most of the land around point 1, is fairly heavily defended. But the southern area actually has less defenses and will be easier for us to penetrate. Some harassers to deal with on this ledge, and engaging them, as you can see, is pulling some of the defenders from this south location that we're about to try to break through. And since both those fire ants have gone after my mention, I can use it to pull them back to our SRM base, thus saving any potential weapon loss or just general damage. And we're already down to 1 without having to go all the way back to the base, so on a pretty good roll. more harassers to deal with, and this is the first mission where you'll start to see hunters, which are basically a more mobile LRM carrier. And you can potentially jump into this SRM base from the ledge north of the liquid tank, an SRM turret up at the top of the screen you can see. However, because I'm not going to necessarily need these defenses as much as the others, I can go ahead and blast my way through. Destroying the 2 lower turrets and leaving the 2 upper turrets intact. And just kind of hug the back wall and you can avoid the SRM turret fire. And then you have also this resource building. So we've gotten ourselves some RPs. And as you can see, I've moved my repair truck to this new location. And use as menu secured forward position. And before we continue up to point 1 to take on the airbase, we're going to head to the second objective and pick up our Atlas buddy. Because that's a 100-ton mech, and those things have an immense amount of firepower. And we'll be picking him up in pristine condition.
Objective complete. I've discovered a second airstrip in the area. We need to destroy both air traffic control towers to completely knock out the bandit supply line. Check your TAC map for the location of the second tower.
And one thing to remember about that Atlas is he's also really slow. So he's not going to be keeping up with the rest of your forces. Unless you opted to bring in other heavy or assault mechs. As you can see, we've got a patrol of harassers up here, although no big deal. However, then we have this urban mech that gets drawn in to the fight from nearby. And now that our Atlas is here, he can start to show his worth. And that's, I believe, a heavy autocannon on the Atlas. We downed him pretty quick. And decided to do some repairs before heading back out again. Alright, and now it's time to start taking out the first airbase. and a dash straight for the turret control tower. And what that does is basically take over a large line of turrets to the west. And you can kind of see some of the red dots far away from me on my screen starting to disappear. Yeah, those are mechs, or not mechs, vehicles that were still defending the wall. And that's just an easy way of taking them out without having to run up there. And now you have this aircraft control tower to destroy. Although when you start attacking it, as you can see, it gets defended by a Star Slayer. But now we have a whole wall of SRM turrets, which we can optionally lead him towards if we want. Although my fire ant starts to take some beating. So I'll try to run him outside the wall quickly. And even with concentrated fire from all 4 mechs, those SRM turrets still assisted, so definitely try to pick those up whenever, or capture turrets whenever possible. But try to avoid damaging your mechs to capture some turrets if you don't think they're going to actually be useful for you. Because then it's totally not worth it. But we can capture this SRM turret, or control tower, up on this ledge. And at this point, while it might not help us, it's more just to avoid being shot at as you move on to the next space. And as you can see, I think I've lost some weapons on my fire ant in that last fight. Not exactly the best mech to take a beating. Alright, and now we move our way towards the second airbase. And as you can kind of see, we're going to stick to these ledges to avoid going down the middle path. Because if you remember from before, your height makes an impact on how much damage you do to whatever target you're shooting at. Alright, and see, we're starting to take out this patrolling fire ant, who's making his way down the middle path. Another good thing is taking the high pass allows you to effectively keep range on the units below, because this fire ant can't even reach us with his flamers. And we got another fire ant that's joined the fray. We're basically a lot of small light mech defenders around this second patrol tower, or second air control tower, that we need to take out. And we're going to try to avoid most of these other defenders towards the east part of this area I'm passing through now.
Enemy destroyed. I copy, sir.
Alright, and now here's something interesting, a Raven. And it's the first time you're going to encounter one of these mechs. Definitely try to salvage it. A very nice light mech with an ECM suite. And some fairly decent weaponry at that. Also one of the more well-known mechs from Battletech lore. And as you can see, we pretty much dropped him intact, which means that he's definitely going to be salvageable, either after mission or during the mission, whichever works best for you. If you manage to strip most of his weapons off, you might want to wait until after the mission. Alright, now we're going to salvage that Raven. And got my repair truck moving up once again to the new front line. I've secured an additional area. And I'm probably going to have to call down another repair truck to finish the job here. Because not much resources left on it. Yeah, so I'm calling down a second repair vehicle now because I know the first one's about to expire. Alright, now our mechs are good to go once more. And now we head back. At this point, we've essentially doubled our forces from the beginning of the mission, which is excellent. As we went from basically a light strike force to a pretty much assault squad. Well, not assault squad maybe, but a lance, I guess. Whatever, a decent sized attack force. Let's put it that way. You got more mechs up here. Or actually vehicles for the most part. One of them looked like a mech. So hunters and harassers, basically. LRMs and SRM vehicles. And blast this turret to get through here. And make a mad dash for the turret control tower. Which is now gonna start helping us out. And there was a Star Slayer, as you can see, in the northern tip of this airbase. But at this point, we got enough mechs that we can just take them out head-on. Although I pull them close into the SRM turret for a little extra support. And now we've pretty much wiped out the last airbase, and we're good to extract, make our way back to the extraction point. And as you can see, we can pretty much ignore all that shit to the east. And we've managed to pick up an enemy fire ant, but we're still gonna go towards the extraction point because not really a big deal at this point. And the defenders that are near the extraction point are nothing really to worry about, just a vedette and a hetzer. And I decided to clobber this guy before I make my way out of here. The fire ant goes down pretty quick.
Roger that.
Now we're good to get out. That's the end of this mission.
Objective complete.